Hi everyone, this is Nancy Damiano with another episode of Memory Keeping Mondays brought to you by 2pieceinAbucket.com. Today my assignment was to work with different pattern papers. So we're going to use 5 different pattern papers and I'm going to do a color blocking page, which is with a pretty neutral theme. It's going to be a page about my son and his cousins. It's just a general family type of page. Probably can be used for almost anything. I'm going to start the page by choosing colors from this pattern paper. I like the bright. We're actually only going to use a little piece of it, but I like the color scheme. It's bright and yet it's kind of muted too. And I like the chevron too. This is from Jenny Bolin and it's called Magpie. And then I chose all my other patterns based on this one. So this brown one is from Studio Calico. That's all I have left of it. There's some dots on the end. It's a graph paper. I'll put it in my supply list. And then this bright yellow polka dot. I've been using this a lot because it's just the perfect shade of buttery type yellow. And it's my mind's eye, Miss Caroline. And I like this blue ledger paper. This is from Note to Self, Echo Park. And then I like this die cut paper from Studio Calico. It's sort of a neutral beige color. I'm going to back it with another pattern paper to make this circular quilt pattern stand out even more. And then for my titles, I pulled out a few things. I pulled out this brown ledger font from Simple Stories Urography collection, and it's just a nice type. It's small. I'm not gonna have a lot of room for my title, so I like that. And I like that it has the ledger print, and we're using a lot of different ledger papers, so I think that'll match really nicely. And then I use a lot of subtitles as well, so I love these little tiny letters from Jelly Bean Soup in sort of a muted red color, which also goes along with the Jenny Bolin Magpie paper. And then this is the Note to Self sticker sheet. And in particular, I like this number sticker. And we'll see if we'll work any of the other stickers into the page. So those are the stickers. And then here is a few things that I pulled to decorate with. First, these Maya Road envelopes. They're craft with a bit of polka dot, so I'm adding even more pattern to it, even though it's still pretty neutral. And then flags. I love these flags by Heidi Swap. Actually, she calls them pennants. I guess they are kind of too large to be a flag. In particular, I like this one because it's more neutral. It just says delight on it, but I like how big it is. And I like the wooden sticks it comes with too. And then I might add an extra flag, so I pulled these by Basic Gray. These are new. I think these are, oh, I don't know the name of the collection, but I will put it in my supply list as well. And I was surprised at how many came in here. There are at least 2 flags of each kind. And the reason I pulled them for this project is because I'm using a lot of this muted sort of green aqua color, and I like how they're all in different shapes. And there's even a folded one. And I love this one that says Celebrate. That's the one I might use for the project. We'll see if it doesn't distract from the design that I'm thinking of. And then some random buttons. Some red buttons, yellow, orange. And we'll see how I work those. I think those are going to go on the envelopes. And okay, a little bit about why I chose these patterns and why they work, why I think they work together. First of all the colors, like I said, came from the Magpie. And so I pulled this powder blue. This is where my journaling is going to go. It's going to add color and pattern, but it's also a big contrast. This is a big pattern. These are a lot of small patterns. You don't want a ton of big patterns because they'll all compete for attention. And I always want my pictures to be the main focal point of my story. I don't really want the focal point to be this large pattern paper. So that's why the mix. So, okay, I'll be back in a minute and we'll get started on the page. let's get started. I'm going to start with a background of the yellow polka dot paper. I'm going to use the whole sheet because I want to add weight to the paper. I want to make this as quick as possible, and with color blocking I'm never sure how this is going to turn out, so I'm going to use the full sheet. If you want to, go ahead and use a piece of white cardstock paper and build from there. Okay, I already cut this lace piece into, this is almost 6 inches wide, maybe a little bit more, and I already added my adhesive, and I'm going to start in this top left corner, and we're going to get that down. And then because this die cut paper has a rounded corner, I'm going to cut this off because I don't like how that looks sticking up there. Okay. And then I also have my journaling done in 2 separate blocks on the blue graph paper, and that's going to go in my upper right hand corner. Okay, and then to add another color, we're going to add the brown graph paper across the bottom. And you can see how we're color blocking already with 3 different squares of color. And you want to be careful when putting this one down because you're going to see later on as I create the page, I'm going to tuck a flag under here. So I'm going to be careful not to put adhesive along the entire top. Okay. So far I have 2, 3, 4 of my patterns, and then this one where all my colors came from will go last. And this is going to go just across the bottom. Okay. Now I'm going to place the envelopes. These are 2 of the sizes that I chose. They come in 3 or 4 different sizes, but I like these because if I layer them here, they're the exact width that I need. Yep, I like the way that looks, so I'm going to put these down. I'll use some glue dots. And I'm going to line them up right here. And the reason for that is that I'm going to put a picture here. And in one part of this color blocking layout, I'm going to have 4 different things meet at one corner. I think that gives my color blocking pages a uniform look. So we have this, we have the blue and the yellow, and we're going to have a photo here and the craft envelopes, and they all meet right here. I like very streamlined, clean line type of pages. Although I add a lot, they always have a linear type of look to them. Envelopes down. Next I'm going to put my photo down in this large block here. We're not going to see much of the brown paper at all. And then you see the brown is sticking out a little bit here. So I will go ahead and trim that when I'm done with the entire page, just to make sure that everything is square and doesn't overlap anywhere else. smaller picture on this side. I may have to tuck it slightly under the pattern. There we go. Okay. And then in this small spot, I thought I would put down the number sticker. It's tone on tone, so brown on brown, and I don't think it'll be very distracting, but it adds another layer to the page. I'll just tuck that underneath. The title of the page is Three Little Cousins, so that's why the numbers are significant for me. Usually everything on a page sort of has to tie in somehow to my story, one way or another. And next we'll work on the title. I am going to use this large brown font, and we're gonna write out Family, Three Little Cousins. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the title, and then we'll come back, we'll put on the finishing touches. Okay, I've finished up the title, and now I'm going to add my focal point photo. It's my favorite. Put a little extra since we're going on a die cut. And that one goes right here. And it covered up quite a bit of that yellow, but this is where I want you to focus, or whoever's looking at my scrapbook anyway. Okay, and next is the decoration part. It needs a little bit of decoration, not much, probably less than I usually do because we've got a lot of patterns going on. We have 3 pictures, one enlarged photo. This is a 5x7 photo, and so it just needs a little bit. I went ahead and made the flag already. That was one of the Heidi Swap flags, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to put a blue dot on this, and I'm going to tuck that under here. The idea to put in an embellishment in the middle of the 2 journaling blocks just to break up all the type. That's it. That was the reasoning behind that. And then this one I wasn't sure if I was going to use. I'm going to tuck it behind there and then I'll decide. I kind of like that. Okay. And then the last part are these 2 little red buttons that I'm going to add to the envelopes. Just to add another little pop of red here. So that adds a little bit of color and a little bit of texture. Okay, and this is just about complete. For the little envelopes, what I'm going to use them for. The page is about my son and his cousins and how lucky they are to have one another, especially my son because he's an only child. So in these envelopes, I'm going to have my son write out what he likes best about Jess, and in this envelope, what he likes best about Mario. And I think that's going to be funny to see at this age, at age 6, what he's going to say about each of them. So I'm going to have him, when he comes home from school today, write that out for me. So part homework, part writing assignment for him, and part scrapbooking and memory keeping for Mom. And so there you have it. That's our color blocking page. Thanks for watching this episode of Memory Keeping Mondays, and I'll see you next time.